भारत आज ग्रीन ग्रोथ की तरफ तेजी से कदम आगे बढ़ा रहा है। आज भारत दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा फिनटेक इकोसिस्टम है। दुनिया का दूसरा सबसे बड़ा स्टील प्रोड्यूसर है। दूसरा सबसे बड़ा मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरर है। अब आपके जेब में मोबाइल होगा तो लिखा होगा मेड इन इंडिया। साथियों, आज जो भी भारत आता है तो हमारे आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को देखकर हैरान रह जाता है। ये इसलिए संभव हो पा रहा है क्योंकि बीते 11 वर्षों में हमने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर 5 गुना अधिक निवेश किया है, 5 टाइम मोर। एयरपोर्ट की संख्या डबल हो गई है। आज हर रोज पहले की तुलना में डबल स्पीड से हाईवे बन रहे हैं। तेज गति से रेल लाइन बिछ रही है। रेलवे का इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन हो रहा है। साथियों, ये आंकड़े सिर्फ उपलब्धियों के ही नहीं हैं, ये विकसित भारत के संकल्प तक पहुंचाने वाली सीढ़ियां हैं। 21वीं सदी का भारत बड़े फैसले लेता है, तेजी से निर्णय लेता है, बड़े लक्ष्यों के साथ आगे बढ़ता है और एक तय टाइमलाइन पर रिजल्ट लाकर ही दम लेता है। साथियों, मैं आपको गर्व की एक और बात बताता हूं। आज भारत दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना रहा है। भारत का यूपीआई यानी यूनिफाइड पेमेंट्स इंटरफेस दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा रियल टाइम डिजिटल पेमेंट सिस्टम है। आपको यह बताने के लिए कि इस पेमेंट सिस्टम का स्केल क्या है, मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूं। मुझे यहां आकर के करीब 30 मिनट हुए हैं, 30 मिनट्स हुए हैं। इन 30 मिनट में भारत में यूपीआई से, मैं इन 30 मिनट की बात करता हूं, इन 30 मिनट में भारत में यूपीआई से 14 मिलियन रियल टाइम डिजिटल पेमेंट्स हुए हैं। इन ट्रांजैक्शन की टोटल वैल्यू 20 बिलियन रुपीज है, उससे भी ज्यादा है। भारत में बड़े से बड़े शोरूम से लेकर एक छोटे से वेंडर तक सब इस पेमेंट सिस्टम से जुड़े हुए हैं। साथियों, यहां इतने सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, मैं आपको एक और दिलचस्प उदाहरण दूंगा। भारत के डिजी लॉकर की आधुनिक व्यवस्था बनाई है। भारत में बोर्ड के एग्जाम होते हैं तो मार्कशीट सीधी बच्चों के डिजी लॉकर अकाउंट में आ जाती है। जन्म से लेकर बूढ़ापे तक जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट सरकार जनरेट करती है वो डिजी लॉकर में रखा जा सकता है। ऐसे बहुत सारे डिजिटल सिस्टम आज भारत में ईज ऑफ लिविंग सुनिश्चित कर रहे हैं। साथियों, भारत के चंद्रयान का कमाल भी आप सभी ने देखा है। भारत साथियों, भारत दुनिया का पहला ऐसा देश है जो मून के साउथ पोल तक पहुंचा है। सिर्फ इतना ही नहीं, हमने एक बार में 104 सैटेलाइट्स को एक साथ लॉन्च करने का कीर्तिमान बनाया है। अब भारत अपने गगनयान से पहला ह्यूमन स्पेस मिशन भी भेजने जा रहा है और वो समय भी दूर नहीं जब अंतरिक्ष में भारत का अपना खुद का स्पेस स्टेशन भी होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Oman. Remember, he is on a three-nation tour and he arrived in Muscat for that third and final leg of the three-nation visit. And there he was addressing the Indian community and the entire Maitri gathering. Prime Minister Narendra Modi warmly received while he is in Oman. We're now getting some breaking news, learning of a showdown over the Manrega rebranding, and that continues in the parliament as opposition MPs were seen tearing copies of that bill. The bill was passed in the Lok Sabha, however. So the entire showdown as far as the G Ramji bill is concerned was seen in the Sansad, and many of the opposition MPs were seen tearing the copies of the G Ramji bill, and that continues even as the bill gets passed in the Lok Sabha. So this is what we are learning. These are the details emerging from the parliament. There you see those shots where the images of the bill being torn off and thrown in the air is also emerged from the Lok Sabha, and that showdown over the rebranding of this Manrega bill continues. Remember, the main charge by the opposition is that this is toying with the legacy of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. They are saying that attempts are being made to erase Mahatma Gandhi from history books because this is one of the flagship schemes under the Mahatma Gandhi name that was there, and that now stands changed with the passage of this particular bill that is now being rebranded and called the G Ramji bill. And this is what the showdown is all about. The opposition has been crying foul. They also, in fact, went on to equate Mahatma Gandhi with Ram, as Mahatma Gandhi, after he was shot, he uttered "Hey Ram." That was his last words that have been famously, in fact, spoken about. And the attempt that is being made by the centre, that is the accusation that's coming in from the opposition, is to alienate Mahatma Gandhi and Lord Ram. So that continues in the parliament. Dramatic scenes have emerged from the lower house as the renaming of the Manrega bill has entered into this very, very volatile phase, where you also saw many of the opposition members tearing the copy of the G Ramji bill, while in fact the bill was being discussed in the Lok Sabha. My colleague Arunima is with us on the broadcast, and Pallavi also joins us on the broadcast now. Arunima, coming to you first. A lot of furor emerging even as the bill gets passed in the Lok Sabha.
Yes, it was a very long discussion last night. Went in till late into 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. Speakers were still, telling the chair that they wanted to speak on this matter. And that's what Om Birla, Speaker, said today, that I allowed everyone to have their say. We had a very long discussion. Now you must listen to the minister. But that did not go down well with the opposition at all. throughout the minister's reply, they were in the well of the House. We're also showing on our screen how papers were flung towards the minister. The minister, in fact, had changed his chair as well. He was speaking from the third row so that the opposition's antics were not caught on camera. Yet they continued throwing papers, flinging them towards the minister. He took a dig at Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. She had said, "ये जो नाम बदलने की सनक है," the fact that the name was being changed and Mahatma Gandhi's name was now no longer part of the new act. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra had referred to that. शिवराज सिंह चौहान said, "सनक हमें नहीं, सनक आपको है. एक परिवार का महिमा मंडन आप करते हैं. So you insist on only the Nehru Gandhi's परिवार's name in every bill. That's not what we are doing." And that impasse continued, and amidst that impasse, we finally see the bill getting passed by Lok Sabha.
Right, and Pallavi, this mention that Shivraj Singh Chauhan really meant, and he had in fact responded to Priyanka Gandhi. Arunabha was just mentioning about this. Pallavi, I'd like your inputs on this. Now, in fact, the high drama, the dramatic scenes that emerge from the Lok Sabha will only continue and spill outside of the parliament. We have seen how the opposition MPs have been protesting against this particular bill and the rebranding.
Well, Veera, if that question is for me,
Yes.
I mean, we've seen, I remember the bill was first created really when the UPA was in power. It was under the National Advisory Council, powered by Sonia Gandhi, which is why I think that's the reason why the Congress party has its heart set on Manrega. But even in the battleground state of Bengal, Veera, the Manrega or the new bill has become one of the points between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress, where the TMC is accusing the central government of snatching the rights and the money as far as the wage earners are concerned, which is why it was almost unprecedented to see almost at the fag end of the winter session, the entire opposition coming together. The Trinamool Congress, Congress Party, DMK, all of them were marching and speaking in one voice as far as the opposition to a bill was concerned. But the lead was clearly taken by the Congress, and for very obvious reasons, because after all, they see that Sonia Gandhi's bill. There was a little awkward moment, I would say, for the Congress to make up its mind. That is because the BJP was playing on the word that the bill is called Ji Ram Ji, and you have an opposition to Ram. Well, that is a rebuttal which has come in from the Congress party. They are objecting to it on two grounds. One, you are wiping out the legacy and the contribution of the Mahatma. And second, of course, is that the main provisions of this new bill is actually reducing the money as far as the wage earners are concerned. But that point by point rebuttal has come in from the very emotive response which came in from the minister concerned, which is Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and of course the rest of the BJP speakers.
Right, do stay on with us, Pallavi and Arunima. We are now looking at this other furor in the parliament, and this is to do with the pollution and the menace that the national capital region is seeing as far as the toxic air that one is in fact forced to breathe. Now, we are learning that there is going to be no pollution debate in the Lok Sabha today and tomorrow. This is the latest detail that is emerging from both the houses of the parliament. Also, no pollution debate, particularly in the lower house of the parliament. That is what has been decided. Arunima, what has brought about this decision?
Yes, so Priyanka Gandhi Vadra just walked out of the Makar, and when we asked, because Speaker, when he adjourned the House after the Ji Ram Ji bill was passed, he said House adjourned till tomorrow, and it took most people by surprise, because the plan was that after the bill would be passed, there would be a discussion on pollution. It was something Kiran Rijiju, Parliamentary Affairs Minister, had also mentioned, that opposition wanted the discussion on pollution, but the House got adjourned. And when we asked Priyanka Gandhi Vadra what she has to say, because this is an important issue, she said, "Agle satra pe is pe discussion ho jayega," meaning the opposition also did not make a big deal about the fact that this issue, which is so central to the life of people in Delhi, people in North India, where everybody is breathing toxic air, somehow it looks like it did not find priority with our legislators, with our parliamentarians. What exactly went behind the scene? Well, Payal is learning, and Pallavi is also reporting that, the Treasury feels that the opposition was not interested. We don't really know what really happened and who did not, press or push. Yes, there was shortage of time. We're looking at the fag end of this session. Tomorrow is the last day. So was paucity of time the reason, or was there not enough, pressure being mounted by opposition? We'll have to wait and see, but it's very clear that the pollution debate is not happening.
And Pallavi, what was the reason? Has it become a matter of convenience for the opposition? First, they were going after the centre over demanding a discussion, a debate on pollution, and now they are in fact deciding to do whatever is convenient. Pallavi? have that link through with Pallavi. We'll try and reestablish that connection. Pallavi, if you are able to hear me, I just wanted to understand what explains this stance by the opposition. Why did they not press upon a discussion for pollution?
No. We did speak to some of the opposition leaders as they were coming out of Lok Sabha. They've clearly put the blame completely on the government, saying the government did not have to adjourn the House for the rest of the day. We could have still had this discussion post too. But as I was walking out from the gallery of the Lok Sabha, I was watching the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. Then there was both Kiran Rijiju as well as Arjun Ram Meghwal standing outside the Speaker's office. And, they did tell us that this just goes on to show the intent of the opposition parties. They don't want to discuss pollution, which is why they have been repeatedly disrupting. They did not allow the minister to speak. They were flinging those papers, which shows that they are non-serious about the pollution issue. It is now going to be yet another battle between the two sides, where the opposition is going to blame the government is going to blame the opposition, and not the result is that the debate on pollution is not going to take place today, neither will it take place tomorrow. That is what the Parliamentary Affairs Minister told us as he was coming out of the Speaker's room.
We understand why it's not happening today, Pallavi, but why not tomorrow as well? And earlier, the opposition was really pressed upon, accusing the centre over every menace which is to do with air quality in the National Capital Region. But now all that seems to, they seem to be okay for it to be waiting.
Well, Griha, to be fair, tomorrow's Friday also. It also happens to be the private members' bill. So normally post-lunch discussions on any other matters don't take place. But having said that, it is a prerogative of the government. And I think the government has made it very clear that we had listed it today. The House would have to be in order. We had a late night discussion on the G bill. Why is it that the minister was not given a chance to speak? Which just goes on to show that opposition parties did not want the House to run, which is why since morning we've been seeing that march which took place from the Mahatma Gandhi statue right over here to the Makar Dwar, where I'm standing at this point of time. So the government is going to fling it back at the opposition, saying that they are the ones who are non-serious. They never wanted the House to run in order. So how is it that you can have a discussion on pollution? There are prefixed agendas for tomorrow. Nothing much is going to happen post-noon because of the private bills take us. Minister also told us that Vande Mataram is going to take place tomorrow, which means it's going to be adjourned sine die, which means that the blame is going to be put on the opposition parties that they were not serious, and as a result of which that discussion on pollution did not take place.
Right. Also, Arunima, we had seen high drama in the parliament and also outside the parliament premises. Rahul Gandhi, before he left for Berlin, had in fact raised this issue. It was followed up by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra as well. Other members of the opposition parties also were joined in this entire clamour. But this war of words that is now going on between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, what are they now saying after this discussion has been postponed until day after tomorrow?
I think the end losers are people of the National Capital and of North India. Opposition is blaming the government. Government says opposition is not serious. The fact that the opposition members did not allow Shivraj Singh Chauhan to complete his reply to the G bill, that has not gone down well with the government. So this could well be a reaction to that as well, because there was an understanding between the Treasury and the opposition that government's legislative agenda will be taken care of. Opposition will cooperate as far as the two important bills are concerned, the G bill and the Shanti bill, which is about private sector participation in the nuclear energy sector. So the understanding was that these two bills, part of legislative agenda of Treasury, will be cooperated with by the opposition, and a pollution discussion will also happen. In fact, this morning when we spoke to BJP MP from Delhi, Praveen Khandelwal, he also said that we want to take the people of this country into confidence. The Environment Minister will lay bare our agenda, how we are planning to do this. Suddenly, things have changed, and like I was telling you, when Lok Sabha Speaker announced after the G bill was passed that the House stands adjourned till tomorrow, it did take people by surprise, because indications were that the pollution debate will happen once the legislative agenda was taken care of. But the pictures that we are putting on our screen of papers being flung repeatedly, not once, not twice, repeatedly, and the Speaker also said, this is not why you have been sent to the House. I think that became the deal breaker.
Right, thank you so much for that, Arunima and Pallavi. With that, we are shifting our focus. We are getting some more breaking news on the broadcast. We're now learning that Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh has said this on Operation Sindoor, where he said that the operation demonstrated India's high-impact, short-duration operational capability. Indian Air Force, he said, is a technologically advanced, operationally agile, strategically confident and future-oriented force. Big statements that are coming in from the Defence Minister, where he's speaking further on Operation Sindoor and also highlighting about the prowess of India's defence sector. So India's defence forces have been lauded by the Defence Minister yet again on all this in fact, a few months after Operation Sindoor. Remember, Operation Sindoor continues to be part of the discourse. This time it's the Defence Minister once again underlining about how India's defence preparedness was tested during Operation Sindoor, and it came out with flying colours as the operation turned out to be high impact, short duration, and it also lauded this entire operational capability of the Indian Defence Forces. He also particularly refers to the Indian Air Force of being really technologically advanced. Let me take this across to my colleague Akash Sharma, who's now with us on the broadcast. Akash, a lot has been said by the Defence Minister as far as the prowess of the Indian Defence Forces are concerned. More on this, please.
Right. So, Griha, this is happening at a time when, we have voices coming from the opposition, where leaders are raising questions on the armed forces and also on Operation Sindoor and the sort of achievements that the armed forces have. And at such a time, this particular statement, in fact, the whole entire speech from Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is very crucial, very important. Defence Minister somewhere reiterating that how Operation Sindoor is an example of the sort of prowess, that has been achieved by the Indian Armed Forces, and also as far as Indian Air Force is concerned. So we know that how after the initial day, when Indian Armed Forces went for the counter strikes after the aggression from Pakistan, we know that how several of their bunkers at the line of control and also their bases were in fact targeted using BrahMos, using Scalp and other missiles from the aircraft that are operated by Indian Air Force. And Rajnath Singh somewhere pointing out the sort of capabilities today Indian Air Force has, sort of technology that Indian Air Force is using. It was the Indian Air Force's commanders conclave where we had top commanders from Indian Air Force, including the Air Chief Marshal AP Singh, in fact, talking about the sort of achievement, talking about the sort of lessons that they have learned. And today it is an important day also because of the fact that government and in fact the MOS, Shripat Nayak, has reacted on Prithviraj Chauhan's statement where he said that Indian forces were defeated on the very first day of Operation Sindoor. And, Minister has said that someone as responsible as someone like Prithviraj Chauhan should not, come out with such a irresponsible statement. And Rajnath Singh somewhere coming out with reiteration that how the success was achieved by Indian Armed Forces is somewhere reflecting the sort of capabilities today Indian Armed Forces have. Griha.
Right, Akash, thank you so much for that perspective. Akash, bringing to light that connection and that response by the Defence Minister, in a sense, to certain controversial statements that have been made by senior Congress leader Prithviraj Chauhan only yesterday. We'll keep an eye on this big story, but right now we go into a very short break.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Election Commission data indicating a high number of voters with inconsistent records, and they, we are told, are in fact concentrated in 3 Bengal border districts, and this is what is being suggested. These are border districts. Murshidabad reporting the highest count of these inconsistent voters, we are told. In fact, Election Commission officials also ended up stating that these discrepancies are provisional and are expected to be addressed after the completion of hearings, following which the final draft of the electoral roll is going to be published. So this is what we are learning. Irregularities in 3 border districts in West Bengal, and the highest discrepancy has been noted from Murshidabad. These irregularities have come to note from districts like Murshidabad. Now, if we take a look at the 3 districts under the Election Commission's radar, where the data has been deemed inconsistent, let's take a look at those very districts, beginning with Murshidabad. In fact, those graphics for our viewers in just a bit. We are learning that Murshidabad has a significant amount of voters, and we are going and talking about voters up to the tune of more than 4 lakh, and this is why these inconsistent data have been flagged. 4,07,065 voters have been noted out of Murshidabad. Remember, we're talking about a border district here. If we take a look further at South 24 Parganas, the voters have been recorded at 3,77,910 voters. This is from South 24 Parganas. Further, if we take a look at North 24 Parganas, the number of voters are 2 lakh, over 2 lakhs as per the Election Commission draft roll. So these are the 3 border areas where these concerns have been flagged from. Now, this is what is the concerning aspect, and let's take a look at the other set of graphics now, where we are in fact learning. If we take a look at these 3 areas, these 3 border areas of Murshidabad, North and South 24 Parganas, these are the areas of concern, and this is what has been flagged as far as the EC draft roll is concerned. So what is more problematic is the proximity of these areas to the Bangladesh border, and there you see we've marked it for our viewers there. It's so close to the Bangladesh border, and that is where these discrepancies have been flagged from as far as this draft roll is concerned. Let's now get you a roundup of Election Commission's SIR exercise across states and union territories, and here's what the data suggests. Now, if we take a look at West Bengal, as far as the draft voter roll is concerned, there are 7.08 crore voters, and these are the number of deletions that have been in fact made, which is 58 lakh deletions so far as the draft roll is concerned. If we take a look at Puducherry, the draft voter roll says 9.18 lakh voters. Names that have been deleted are 1.03 lakh voters. So this is Puducherry. Rajasthan further, the number of voters stand at 5.04 crores, and the number of names that stand deleted stand at 44 lakhs. So this is what we are looking at these very many states. If we take a look at Goa further, 10.84 lakh voters. Names that have been deleted are over 1 lakh. So this is a basic, division that we are putting out. Lakshadweep further, draft voters stand at 56,384, and out of that, just 1,616 voters' names have been deleted from that draft roll. So this is what one is looking at. But let's turn our attention back to the state of West Bengal, and particularly those 3 border districts that are so close to the Bangladesh border, from where that discrepancy has been flagged by the Election Commission. My colleague Kamalika with all of those details. Kamalika. Welcome back. It's now time for Simply South. We begin with our top focus story. The Congress government in Karnataka is facing sharp questions over its flagship Shakti Guarantee Scheme, which has left a massive financial hole in the state transport corporations. The government has admitted that outstanding dues have mounted to over 4,000 crore rupees, pushing already crash-strapped transport bodies into deep financial crisis. This disclosure came in a written response to a question that was raised by the leader of opposition in the Legislative Council, Chalavadi Narayanaswamy. Official data shows unpaid reimbursements rising steadily over 1,180 crore rupees in the year 2023-24, more than 1,170 crores in 24-25, and over 1,650 crore rupees in the current financial year till November. The delay in reimbursements has left the 4 state transport corporations struggling to meet operational costs, intensifying concerns over the financial stability of welfare guarantees. State Transport Minister remains defensive and defiant on the matter, and he's now said that the Shakti scheme dues were left behind by the BJP, adding that the Congress is only clearing it.
ಇದು ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬಾಕಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹಣ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. 4,000 ಕೋಟಿ ಬಾಕಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 2023ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಬಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಟ್ಟಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ 4,000 ಕೋಟಿ ಸಾಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೌಕರರ ಸಂಘದವರು ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ 1,700 ಕೋಟಿ 38 ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಸೇರಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇರ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟೋಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಒಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಆಡಳಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ನಾವು ತೀರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ 2,000 ಕೋಟಿ ತೀರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಏನೋ ದಿವಾಳಿ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಶಕ್ತಿ ಹಣ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಗೃಹಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಹಣ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಇವ್ರ ಬಂಡವಾಳನೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತೆ. BJP ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಹಿಂದೆ 2002 ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನರೇಗಾ ಹಣ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಕಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ 5ನೇ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಆಯೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಭದ್ರಾ ಮೇಲ್ದಂಡೆಗೆ 5,300 ಕೋಟಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪೆರಿಫೆರಲ್ ರಸ್ತೆಗೆ 3,000 ಕೋಟಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಬಜೆಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಡಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. 5ನೇ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 5,495 ಕೋಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ, ಇದನ್ನೂ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ. ದಿವಾಳಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಾವಲ್ಲ.
Let me take this across to my colleague Harish Upadhyay, who is now with us on the broadcast. Harish, this seems to be the standard response from the Congress party, and this time the Transport Minister, Mr. Reddy, really going on to claim that it was the dues that were left under the Basavaraj Bommai government, the BJP government back in the day, that the Congress is still clearing out. But they have to answer the key question. It was on the main, these guarantees that the Congress government has come into power in the state of Karnataka. What are they planning on really doing about these guarantees?
Absolutely, and once these guarantees were implemented, Griha, one of the main promises of the government was that it won't hit the state transport corporations in any way, because the government would reimburse this money for the kind of tickets that have been given out under the Shakti scheme. That was one of the main guarantees of the Congress party. But if you look at the figures that have been disclosed in the assembly, it's very clear that these figures or these debts are pending from the first year. That's when the rollout of this Shakti guarantee took place from 2023. These dues are pending of 1,000 odd crore rupees in the first year, again 1,000 odd crore rupees in the second year, and even this year, a total of 4,000 odd crore rupees, and this money hasn't been reimbursed. You have Ramlinga Reddy claiming that when Basavaraj Bommai left office in 2023, there were dues to the tune of 2,000 crore rupees, whether in terms of the salary dues that were left behind or the PF dues that the state corporations hadn't paid. He is saying this government itself has paid those 2,000 crore rupees, and the government is giving money for all these corporations to ensure that their financial stability doesn't take a hit. But there are serious questions being raised on how this affects the state transport corporations in terms of procuring new buses. The BJP saying that at several places, old buses which are not fit to run, are currently being kept in operations because the state corporations are not able to procure new buses, and that's largely because of the Shakti scheme. Remember, this is coming in at a time, Griha, when there are already question marks on the funding of the Gruha Lakshmi scheme, the 2,000 rupees that's given to the woman household head. And we've already seen the BJP saying that the minister was misleading the house, and there are at least 2 installments worth around 5,000 crore rupees that hasn't been dispersed, and the minister misled the house. The minister apologized.
Harish, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. We have Ashok Gowda of the Bharatiya Janata Party who is now joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Gowda, the finger is being pointed at the Bharatiya Janata Party now by the Congress government, claiming that it was under Basavaraj Bommai that there were dues that had mounted, and the Congress is only ended up going ahead and clearing all those dues, and that is why this sort of a thing has really happened. What do you make of this explanation that's coming in from the Congress, sir?
See, let's understand, probably the Transport Minister, Mr. Ramlinga Reddy, does not understand how the transport has been modified, whether it was in PGR Scindia's time or whether it was during BJP's tenure, both the times. Let's forget the history. Now come to the facts. Let them release a white paper that during the BJP's time, that is during the Bommai's time, what was the pending amount? It was not more than 380 crores or very close to around 400 crores, the pending amount. Now, we had very clearly stated when they said that we are going to announce the Shakti Yojana and all the 3 RTCs and 1 BMTC, the corporation, all these 4 corporations, how it will go for a task. Now, believe me or not, first of all, the buses were pledged and BMTC properties were pledged only to maintain. Now, they have not paid a PF, they have not paid a gratuity. With all these things, their Shakti Yojana is hitting the entire treasury to that extent that the debt has increased from 350 or 400 crores to 7,000 crores, and it will be mounting more in the coming days. And what is estimated is that it will be by the time this government will pass on to the other government in 2028, it will surpass 15,000 crores because the maintenance of the buses will be additional burden which will be adding to the thing. And with all these problems on, the Congress party, whether it is Ramlinga Reddy or Chief Minister, now Siddaramaiah or later whoever is the Chief Minister, they do not understand when you rule out a scheme, roll it out in such way that it does not cost a treasury to that extent where the department will have to be closed. The same thing happened in a lot of other states or in other countries also. The examples are there. We have examples wherein the other states had to close down and privatize their entire transportation system. And now Karnataka had one of the best transportation systems. Now it has gone for a complete task. Buses are repaired. They are not able to pay for the service. They are not able to exchange the tires. They are not able to fill the fuel. And when this is an extent, even the employees are suffering without gratuity and PF. And when all these things are there, the government says our Shakti Yojana is the best and our Gruha Lakshmi Yojana is the best. It's not about rolling out the scheme, but you have to roll it out in such way that it does not cost the exchequer. At the same time, people will also be benefited. It should be a win-win situation.
Thank you so much for that perspective of yours. Harish, fair point that has been raised by the Bharatiya Janata Party. He's also talking about how this can be a major risk because several of these buses, like you mentioned, they are not even in that condition that they should be running on the roads. That audit also has not really been done. Dues are not cleared and everything is used to fund that entire Shakti scheme of the Congress government. We'll see what happens about this particular story. But Harish, handing it over to you to take the broadcast forward.
Well, thank you, Gruha. Now time to shift focus to Tamil Nadu because that's where actor and TVK chief Vijay addressed a massive rally in Erode today. Remember, this is the first big rally in Tamil Nadu after that stampede in Karur. And in fact, last week, TVK chief Vijay had addressed a public rally in Puducherry, where also a large crowd had gathered despite the initial permission of a gathering of just 5,000 people. While addressing the massive gathering today, Vijay lashed out at the Stalin government. He also said that the smear campaign by vested interests will not succeed and the TVK will march on. Remember, this is the first major rally in Tamil Nadu after that unfortunate stampede incident that took place in Karur on the 27th of September. A lot of guidelines were issued by the police. A separate SOP that was given out by Tamil Nadu police before giving permission, and the TVK itself had ensured that their office bearers and cadres were put in place and given responsibilities to ensure that the large crowd that was anticipated and that eventually gathered this morning can be handled smoothly. And remember, after that Puducherry rally, this is the second event, but the first major one in Tamil Nadu after that stampede in Karur. In this rally, which saw a massive turnout, you had Vijay who targeted the opposition. He started off by criticizing the Stalin government, saying that the smear campaign will not succeed and the vested interests who've been targeting him and TVK will not succeed and the TVK will march on. And he's also lashed out at other opposition parties without taking names, saying that usually critics and analysts ask him on why he doesn't talk about other parties, but he believes that he doesn't need to comment on people who are not even important players in the upcoming assembly election in Tamil Nadu early next year. Remember, TVK had suffered a massive setback after that stampede in Karur on the 27th of September, after which there were several question marks on whether TVK will manage to get permission, and if they do, how will they carry out their rally. And today, this rally in Erode so far has gone smoothly. The TVK, which was given permission by Tamil Nadu police, was also handed out a separate standard operating procedure in terms of what needs to be present and the kind of turnout allowed. And finally, those guidelines followed by the TVK and the rally happening in Erode today. In fact, CNN News 18's Purnima Murli, who's in Erode presently, joins us for more on this. Purnima, Vijay targeting the Stalin government, he's also targeted a few other opposition voices without taking names.
Absolutely. Vijay, once again reiterating 2 points. One is that TVK's political enemy is the DMK and ideological enemy is the BJP, and also says that he says DMK is an evil force. This is not something that he said, this is something that Jayalalitha and MGR had said, and initially he thought that it was too harsh, but now he says that this is how one should deal with the DMK. So he says he and his party, the TVK, is a pure force, and DMK is a evil force. This is something that he said, but making it clear that there's no scope for TVK to join hands with the AIADMK BJP. Says BJP is the ideological enemy. And once again heaps praises on the Dravidian icons Periyar, Anna, as well as AIADMK founder MGR. Says they are nobody's assets, they are Tamil Nadu's assets, and anybody can use their name. And he believes in Periyar's ideologies, and that's something his party also believes in. And a lot of excitement here, Harish. This is the first rally 82 days after the Karur tragedy where 41 people died. This is the first rally, and a lot of excitement here because precautionary measures were taken by the district administration and the TVK as well. How excited are you? He was talking about women's safety also. Says when he comes to power, he will ensure women are safe. Are you safe in the DMK period?
No, ma'am. Last month also in nearby airport Coimbatore, there is one tragedy was happened. So in every day, women's handling some harassment or some unsafety issues. So still it's going on. So once Vijay came, he will ensure the women's safety, because he is telling this in every meeting, every videos. He is telling women's safety, education system, and yeah, so he will change the system.
So there you heard it, a lot of excitement here. Many of them are first-time voters, some of them are TVK supporters. You're all TVK supporters. Some came here to get a glimpse of the actor turned politician Vijay. But more than 20,000 people had gathered and excitement in the air. Many welcome TVK, but how much of this crowd is going to translate into votes, Harish, we'll have to wait for the 2026 results.
Absolutely. Thank you, Purnima, for joining us with all those details. Shifting focus to Telangana now, actress Nidhi Agarwal took part in an event that took place in Hyderabad. This was Prabhas Starer, the Raja Saab song launch event that took place at the Lulu Mall in Hyderabad yesterday. And after the event, the crowd was out of control, and Nidhi Agarwal, in fact, got mobbed and manhandled by the fans, even as her bodyguards and other security persons who were present there had a tough time controlling the crowd. In fact, PV Ramana now joins us for more on this. Ramana, disturbing visuals coming in, and the bodyguards present there had a tough time ensuring that the actress got to her vehicle safely.
Yeah, Harish, as you said, that Nidhi Agarwal is completely uncomfortable when she was attended a Raja Saab song release function here in Hyderabad. Actually, one of the event management company organized all these, made all the arrangements for the event. In fact, later on, after completion of that program, she's about to leave that place, in fact. So while she's leaving, she's coming out of that event site. Unfortunately, a lot of people, fans, in the name of fans, people came over there and they started taking selfies with her, and they have started touching her, in fact. So bouncers are present over there, and some of the security personnel also present over there. Even there is a better security arrangements, the people could not properly managed. In fact, thousands of people were attended this function, and hundreds of people came to that Nidhi Agarwal to take selfies and all. She was very uncomfortable. Later on, with the help of the bouncers and with the help of the security personnel, finally she got into her car, and she was finally took a breath. In fact, so it is causing a lot of fuss still in the Telugu film industry, because it's a very big industry. Even the actresses does not have proper security for them, even if they are attending the functions and all. And she mentioned in the X also, she was very uncomfortable by this incident, and she was blamed the event management company for not making the proper arrangements on that. And based on these videos which is circulated in the social media, there are a lot of discussions going on, and they have to take proper arrangements. This is a shame on the part of the people.
Yes.
There is a lot of conversation coming in.
Ramana, in fact, you mentioned about the event organizers. Several question marks on the kind of security that they had put in place, because clearly there was a lot of crowd that had gathered. Why didn't they have more people to ensure that the actors and others who came in got proper security and they don't get mobbed after the event?
Yeah, generally what happens, people, the main actors, actually this is a major event. In fact, Raja Saab is a movie which was starred by Prabhas, pan-India star. The lot of crowd was expected. In fact, generally what happens, the big stars who attended the function, the completely security focus and whatever the bouncers focus will be on the major stars only. These second, of course, heroines and others will be treated as a secondary grade actresses, in fact. So in these conditions, in these circumstances, the entire security was allotted to them only, and later on, she was very uncomfortable with these kind of these things. So have to see how the film industry will ensure for further security measures to not repeat these kind of the incidents, because we have witnessed earlier also. We have seen when Pushpa 2 event was happening, one boy was, of course, still he is fighting till the death, and we have witnessed a lot of incidents. But they have to learn the lesson from this, and they have to make the proper security arrangements for the whatever the incidents, whatever the events happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Ramana, for joining us with all those details. Even as we end the show, time to look at some entertainment news. Remember, Ranveer Singh's mimicry of the Daiva from Kantara Chapter 1 had triggered a massive controversy. Now, filmmaker and actor Rishabh Shetty has come out and spoken about the incident, saying that mimicry made him a little uncomfortable, and he also said that the ritual is something that's sacred and sacrosanct for a lot of people, and that mimicry had left him a little uncomfortable. Let's listen in to what Rishabh Shetty said.
Remember Ranveer Singh's oops moment at IFFI 2025's closing ceremony? The one where he had mimicked the sacred ritual from Kantara movie? Well, finally, actor-director Rishabh Shetty has responded to the entire controversy that had followed their brief interaction. Speaking at a Behind Woods event in Chennai, Rishabh Shetty addressed the discomfort he feels when the sacred Daya traditions from Kantara are reenacted or performed casually on stage. Without taking names, the filmmaker said such moments make him uneasy, explaining that while Kantara is cinema, the Deva element is deeply spiritual and emotionally rooted in his culture. He revealed that he personally requests people not to perform or mock these rituals publicly, adding that repeated instances continue to affect him deeply. For the unversed, the controversy traces back to this year's edition of the International Film Festival of India that took place in Goa, wherein Ranveer Singh, while praising Kantara, had mimicked Daiva during the public interaction with Rishabh Shetty. The gesture was repeated on stage, even after Rishabh subtly expressed discomfort. The clip quickly went viral, triggering criticism online, with many calling the act insensitive and disrespectful to a sacred tradition rather than a cinematic performance. Following the backlash, Ranveer Singh had addressed the issue on Instagram. He had clarified that his intention was never to mock, but to applaud Rishabh Shetty's performance. Calling it an actor-to-actor moment, Ranveer had said he deeply admires the effort and emotional depth required to perform that scene. He had also issued a public apology, stating that he respects every culture, tradition, and belief and never meant to hurt sentiments.
Many things have changed in the last 20 years, but our partnership with you only got stronger.
Political parties.
RTI enabled India's right to know.
System needs to become more transparent.
We saw terrorism's deadliest phase.
This is a terror attack on Mumbai. Visuals that will haunt Mumbai.
A crisis that plunged the nation in panic.
We are faced with a global slowdown.
A crime that shook 1.4 billion people.
Last bus rides for the girl who would come to be known as Nirbhaya.
We saw India becoming cricket champs after 28 years. The nation chose a strong new leader.
Narendra Damodar Das Modi.
Indian Army. India attacking terror on enemy soil.
Special forces crept behind enemy lines.
An invisible threat brought the nation to a standstill.
Not a single soul out here.
A space flight that filled every Indian with pride.
It was a very special liftoff.
India taking its place among global leaders.
One Earth, one family, one future.
Time ticked on. The headlines kept changing. But we stood with you with the same energy, the same resolve. Celebrating 20 years of CNN News 18 makes sense.
Good afternoon, you're watching CNN News 18 with me, Poonam Burde, and as CNN News 18 celebrates 20 years, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank our viewers for staying with us, for helping us fight your fight and becoming your voice. We'll continue to do that here on this broadcast as well, but first, let's get you started with the top headlines. Even as opposition MPs tear copies of G Ram Ji bill gets passed amid pandemonium in the Lok Sabha. Pollution debate stalled in the parliament as House is adjourned until tomorrow. Even as Delhi turns the gas chamber, pollution seems to be a non-issue for our MPs. CNN News 18 has accessed Election Commission data indicating a high number of voters with inconsistent records. Concentrated in 3 border districts of West Bengal, Murshidabad records the highest count. Amid Election Commission's lens on illegals in West Bengal, BJP says a fire in the Guni slum near Eco Park is linked to the SIR exercise. Claims that slum dwellers are Bangladeshi illegals and the blaze was orchestrated by the TMC. In his first rally in Tamil Nadu in the run-up to 2026 elections, after the Karur stampede, Vijay storms the AIADMK turf with a mega show of strength in Erode, launches blistering attack on the DMK, accusing them of making false promises. Showdown over Congress's guarantees in Karnataka intensifies. Women and Child Development Minister apologizes for giving wrong info on payouts of the Griha Lakshmi scheme. CNN News 18 exclusively accesses the stunning charges made by Assam SIT on the main accused in the Zubin Garg death case. Documents reveal that accused charged with instigating Garg to enter the water with criminal intent. Prime Minister Modi is on his third leg of a 3-nation tour in Muscat, addresses the Indian community, calls Oman a mini India. Meanwhile, Modi chants reverberate during that event. Ousted Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, speaks exclusively to Network 18, accuses interim Prime Minister Mohammad Yunus of seeking proximity with Pakistan, appreciates India's patience even as ties deteriorate. The Lok Sabha was expected to take up a crucial debate on India's toxic air crisis, the air emergency that we all live in, especially here in the National Capital Region. But that discussion has been pushed aside, and how? A showdown over the Viksit Bharat Guarantee Bill triggered loud protests. There was sloganeering, there was shouting, repeated adjournments, and even the legislation being torn up. That forced the House to drop the pollution debate because the House has now been adjourned until tomorrow. Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has asked
the government as to why they do not want to take up this debate, even as the opposition says that they were ready to do so. The government, meanwhile, has been pointing in the direction of the opposition, claiming it is they who have been stalling the parliament, which is why this debate is not taking place. But the air quality is only worsening, and it's not just in the national capital region, but across northern India. The question really remains, and a frustrating one at that, is that when will the right to breathe become a priority for our members of parliament, our elected representatives? Payal, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details. Payal, this was a subject that was decided by the Parliamentary Business Advisory Committee. They had listed out at least 3 speakers that were going to talk about the pollution debate, that there was going to be a discussion on it. We saw that the Parliament can function late until night, which is what happened yesterday on one particular legislation. But today, when it comes to pollution, that seems to have been pushed aside.
Well, of course, the blame game certainly is on as far as that is really concerned, with the government really saying that the opposition parties are not interested in the discussion, and the opposition parties saying that the government is not interested in discussion. The fact of the matter is that the Lok Sabha Speaker had allowed 193 notice to go through, 193 notice was allowed to go through, which was signed by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Basuri Swaraj and Kani Mori. But that did not really happen because it seemed that the house was completely out of order. People would not let Shivraj Singh Chauhan speak. Although Shivraj Singh Chauhan patiently heard everybody speak till 1:37 last night, in fact, early morning. And that is something which should have been allowed. But what really made the speaker very, very upset was the fact that papers were thrown at him. In fact, eyewitnesses also told us that several members of the Congress party tried to even jump onto the table, which was right in front of the speaker's table. So that was something which is completely unacceptable in the conduct of the MPs. And therefore, the House stood adjourned because the Speaker felt that the opposition parties, especially that from a particular party, do not really respect Parliament tradition. And this is no way to behave on the floor of the House. You can be a critic of the bill. You were given enough opportunities to speak on the bill. But what was the need for you to jump onto the table and, throw papers at the chair? Is completely disrespectful and cannot be allowed no matter what.
But between this fight, Payal, between the opposition and the government, it's the voter and the people of India that seem to have lost out, because it is important to discuss a crisis like air pollution, which is not just limited to the national capital anymore. We've seen that skies have turned hazy, the skies have turned grey across several cities across the country.
Well, what Parliament Affairs Minister Mr. Rijiju has also been saying, that it is most unfortunate that seems that they clearly panned out into the Parliament. Given the fact that everybody had agreed that the discussion will take place on pollution, at 2 o'clock the discussion was scheduled to begin. Bhupendra Yadav was asked to prepare for his response at around 5 o'clock. But what really led to the situation is beyond, at least the government says, beyond their control, because they do not have any control over the opposition. The opposition was very patiently heard with till 1:37 a.m. this morning. About 99 speakers really spoke, which also included several members of the opposition and also from the Congress party, the TMC. All of them spoke, in great detail that they were allowed. But, why did they stop Shivraj Singh Chauhan from really speaking? And the fact of the matter is that, why did they try to disrespect the chair? That's for the opposition to answer. So a lot of back and forth going on between the government and the opposition at this time. But fortunately, the bill really got passed. That's what the government was really confident about. But unfortunately, people's interest and people's focus area has been lost in this din.
But Payal, what's expected then tomorrow? Because we still have 1 day left of the winter session of Parliament. As per the business that's decided, that's scheduled for tomorrow, what is it that is going to take place? Could the pollution debate have happened tomorrow?
Well, we'll have to just wait and see what conversation the Lok Sabha Speaker has with the Treasury benches and the other side as well. And if he can actually draw in any sense of semblance amongst them. Because remember, tomorrow is the last day. It's Friday. Friday is also a private member's bill, which clearly means that by 2 o'clock, private members' bill will have to really begin. Will they have enough time to even discuss this subject? That remains to be seen. But certainly, Poonam, it's a very, very big opportunity lost, because Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was spearheading the whole movement, saying that we need to discuss this on priority. Just about last week, Rahul Gandhi had raised the issue, but the conduct of the MPs forced the Lok Sabha Speaker to actually shut the House for the day. So there's very little chance that this discussion will really happen. And therefore, a very sarcastic remark coming in from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra the moment she stepped up, that maybe in the next session we can have a discussion on this.
Well, do stay on with us. Speaking of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, the Congress has now reacted to this entire controversy, going on to echo what Priyanka said as well, that they were prepared for a debate on pollution, and they actually did have a prepared speech. She was one of the speakers, but it was the government that has decided to push this issue aside by adjourning the House.
that you don't want a discussion on pollution and therefore you created an atmosphere where you're flinging papers on the floor of the House?
No, the protest started quite early. If the government wanted to have a discussion, we were very open for the discussion. We are ready to participate. The protest started inside and outside the parliament. When the MNRAGA, the soul of the MNRAGA was murdered, we mentioned not just about Mahatma Ji's removing his name, but apart from that, a demand-driven program is now at the mercy of a government, which cannot be accepted. And the financial burden and responsibility the state governments is going to have is going to be quite huge, will spoil the program. So our protest was on, but we were ready for the discussion. Honorable Srimati Priyanka Gandhi was ready for the discussion. She prepared her speech. She was inside the parliament. She was present in the last moment. But unfortunately, the government didn't want. They were showing a vendetta towards the India Alliance and towards Congress. That is the reason.
So the
entire house ran. They passed the bill, and after passing the bill, they actually adjourned the house, which is quite unfortunate. We wanted the discussion on pollution, but we will keep the band on. Again, even if in the next session, we will keep this alive because it matters a lot of people's health, not just in Delhi, but across the country.
Thank you very much.
Pallavi now joins us, getting us more details. Pallavi, it looks like both sides are just blaming the other. The Congress says we were prepared for this discussion to take place. The government says that it was the opposition MPs that were creating a ruckus, which is why the adjournment was required. Amidst all of this, amidst this trading of barbs between two sides, the biggest loser is the people of the country.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And look at even the timeline which was set for a discussion on the pollution for today. We just have a couple of hours, 24 hours left for the parliament session to end. The winter session ends tomorrow, Poonam. There was a discussion on electoral reforms, on Vande Mataram. And certainly this question will always rise. And when you began the winter session, you know there was a problem of a poor AQI and a pollution issue. Why was it not listed earlier? Because it's a short duration discussion. Multiple notices have been given on it. And that is what the opposition is asking, that there is a lack of intent coming in from the government. The government was not serious about